Ah yes, the joys of PC gaming. High performance and, due to current international chip shortages, high prices. Don't you just love it? It is no wonder that, especially in recent years, console players constantly bring up the argument that they cannot afford a decent PC to play games with their friends. If you want to play the newest games in the highest frame rate and resolution possible, I would have to agree. Dropping over 3,000 euros just for a graphics card, or over 4,000 euros for a complete system that does not even include a screen or other peripherals yet, is too much for most people's wallets. But what would you say if I were to tell you that this is only partially true? What if I told you that you could get a machine ready for gaming for less than 500 euros? You would very likely tell me that I'm mad, and when it comes to the newest titles, I would have to agree with you. If you are, like so many however, a casual gamer, then this video is for you. If you just want to play around a Fortnite, CounterStrike Go or Diablo III with your friends, you will not need a 4,000 euro system. Not even a 1,000 euro one. I will have to give a quick disclaimer here at this point. All screen tearing that you will see in this video is due to the Elgato card this footage was captured with, since it does not seem to like having a PC as an input instead of a console. With that, let's get into the reason why you are here. As I have shown on screen, modern gaming hardware can cost you easily as much as a good used car, or more. I myself do have a high-end gaming desktop PC, though my hardware is also kind of outdated by now since I'm only using an RTX 2080 Ti. But since I can play every game I throw at it so far, I don't see a need to upgrade. But you are here for the budget option, are you not? Well, let me introduce you to my MSI GE70 PC2, gaming laptop from the year 2015. It is equipped with following specs: an i7 4720HQ quad-core processor with hyper-threading that has 2.6 GHz base clock and 3.6 GHz boost clock, an NVIDIA GeForce 850M with 2 GB of VRAM, a 1TB mini SATA SSD, Windows 10 Home and 16 GB of DDR3 RAM. Now, for modern standards, where we already have CPUs that can go to up to 5 GHz with 12 physical cores, or 24 logical, these specs can sound like a better calculator. And this is, for the first time in this video, where I would have to disagree with you. See, this little machine can handle way more than you would give it credit for. Let me just show you what gaming on this little thing looks like. Fallout 4. Sure, it does not quite run in stable 60 FPS, but never really drops below 30, offering a perfectly playable experience, even with a lot of explosions happening around you. The footage you see here has been caught through a capture card on an external monitor with a mix between medium to high settings in 27p. The most important part to be able to enjoy this game is to deactivate the high-res texture packs that Bethesda has added as free DLC to the game, because this only bloats the game and makes it run like a slideshow, even on more modern hardware. CounterStrike Global Offensive. Because MSI Afterburner and RiverTuner refused to hook onto this and the next game on the list, I cannot give accurate estimates on the actual frame rate the game was playing on. However, as you can see in this footage, the game ran really well with no hiccups at 720p and high settings. I'm not a competitive player by any means, but for a few rounds with bots or with friends, or even just a bit of gaming on random servers online, the experience was more than playable. It was, in fact, quite enjoyable.
I think I heard something. Terrorists win.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. For the next game on this list, we have the demo version of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, a game that was released in 2020. So far we have looked at 2 games that were released close to or before the release of this laptop, but as you can see on the screen right now, this game runs like a charm with no frame drops or unintended slowdowns. Why do I have to say unintended? Well, there are instances where the game goes into slow-mo on purpose for dramatic effect. The player can also slow down time when one of the menus, like special attacks, is opened. For a game that was released in January 2020, this laptop is handling this game surprisingly well, with no issues whatsoever, despite its open world and huge environments, even though it was running in 1080p with high settings. Starcraft II. In 720p and medium settings, Starcraft II runs butter smooth on this machine and brings a very enjoyable gameplay experience to the players through and through. As you can see here, even in battles, the game does not slow down and runs very stable. In short, a more than playable experience for casual as well as competitive players. World of Warcraft. In 1080p and medium settings, one of the most popular MMORPGs runs with no problem. In bigger cities or areas, the draw distance is not what one would expect from modern gaming hardware, but then again, this is a laptop from 2015. The result overall is a fully enjoyable gameplay experience that is more than enough to play PvE or PvP content with or without your friends.
Wette, weiß schon, dass ihr mich aus Sturmwind befreit habt. Zollt ihm einfach Respekt und lasst ihn reden. Dann schmeißt euch hoffentlich nicht von der Pyramide.
Diablo III. In 1080p with medium settings, this game had the odd little frame drop here and there, but it never went below 50 and I seriously only notice it due to the frame rate counter in the upper left. All in all, the game is very playable and fun on this hardware, and the beefy fan that MSI put into the laptop ensures that it also does not run too hot. Even with all of those effects going on screen, Diablo 3 is still very enjoyable on this laptop, and I would definitely use it to play through the game once more. Now you might say, but visual. What about newer games? Stuff that is more recent than 2020? And since I expected this question, I tested one of my favorite games from 2021. Alien Fireteam Elite. Alien Fireteam Elite was released in 2021 and takes the Left 4 Dead formula and puts it into the Alien universe. It's a game that I have roughly 100 hours in, and that number will only grow over time. Again, I must stress that the screen tearing and sometimes weird glitches that you seem to see in this recording when it comes to muzzle flashes are purely due to the method I chose to record this footage. While playing the game on the inbuilt screen, none of these issues were actually visible. Running the game with low settings in 720p with a 30 FPS frame limit in full screen mode, not windowed full screen, but exclusive full screen, yielded a very playable experience, and I was quite surprised how little the missing graphical fidelity from playing it on a stronger system actually bothered me. The 30 FPS are noticeable, but stable. Which is why I would say that this game is perfectly playable, even on this older hardware. And while some of the textures might look a bit weird up close, the game still looks acceptable. Not good, but acceptable. Especially if your main focus is to have a good time with your friends. My final verdict for this game on this laptop is that it might not be the prettiest experience, but it is smooth and works. The end result should be quite obvious to everyone. You do not have to spend thousands of euros/dollars to get a decent gaming machine. This particular model can be found on eBay for as little as 400 euros, while some sellers sell one of the later models with a better GPU and CPU for under 400. Keep in mind though that I recommend reading the description on eBay before you purchase anything. The laptop I showcase here, for example, has a broken hinge and is sold without a hard drive or charger, so these would be parts that you would have to buy after the fact. And even with the broken hinge, you can always use the laptop on an external screen, like your TV, and peripherals like I do. These old laptops and desktop PCs that a lot of people throw out simply because they are old can still bring the average budget gamer some enjoyment and should not be counted out just yet. With this, I hope I could help at least a few of you find an alternative to buying a few thousand euro or dollar expensive gaming PC or laptop. And I hope that I was able to showcase that this old hardware is not out for the count yet. But what do you think? Would a laptop like this be an option for you? Was this video in any way helpful to you? Have I changed your mind when it comes to older hardware, or are you of the opinion that these old PCs should be laid to rest and recycled? Let me know in the comments down below, I want to have a discussion with you guys. Also, would you be interested in even older hardware and its use cases? If so, what would you like to see? And now I'm signing off and hope that this video finds you well in body and mind. Sincerely yours, Visual Pony.